Okay guys, this is a breakdown on my E36 that's gone through many different versions and it's changed over time, so it's never been consistent and stayed as one thing. The only thing that's been consistent is the fact that it still very much is a E36. The engine sits in the right place, the diff, the gearbox, all of that is still relatively low cost stuff that anybody can get their hands on if you're looking through the car. The car is running a E36 4-door M3 rear suspension, which is the big diff. The crown wheel has been changed to a 3.46 diff ratio. The standard M3 diff is still being used. We've just added more plates. A guy in Durban has done it called Ken Westermeyer. The wheel bearings and stuff is all standard, it's just refreshed, the same with the side shafts. We actually made chrome moly side shaft, never fitted it as the standard ones have never broken. I know people that do drag racing gets to break them off, but we just haven't broken it yet, so we've sort of got them standing there spare. The prop shaft is a custom made thing. It's also been made multiple times as we've gone through different gearboxes. Currently we're running a E46 330 diesel facelift, so the 2006 gearbox, and it also came out in the E90 530 diesel manual. I don't know how many they sold of those in the country, but that's where the gearbox comes from. It's very strong. I know the dragster guys also use it. The engine is a 328 engine. It's been stroked. So the 3-litre crank has been fitted to it. It's using the standard rod length and just a piston with a different compression height. The cylinder head has been ported. It's still running very mild cam, so it's a regrind cam, so it's got 10 mil lift, intake and exhaust, and we're running Supertech valve springs. Otherwise, it's got the normal sort of turbocharged stuff, the ARP studs, mains and big ends, and conrods and head studs, Fina head gasket. Yeah, we're running electronic throttle pedal on the car, which is a fantastic advantage, doing flat shifts, auto blips into the corner, and also helping with power control, traction control. So in third gear, we don't open the throttle all the way, and in wet conditions, we do almost never flat out. We're running a max ECU that's probably been pushed beyond its limits. Multiple times we've had software specifically updated for this car, trying to get the traction control better and all sorts of other stuff. In hindsight, again, if I knew what I was building from the start, it would probably have a Motec in it or a Syvex in it by now. As most people know, very recently we ran out of brakes, basically ran out of ABS control, just overwhelming it. And we've very recently fitted a motorsport specific ABS, which we're excited to try. We're running teal wastegate, teal dump valve, a precision, not a precision turbo, a pulsar turbo. The turbo is probably too big. We're running a G42 1200, which is hard to spool up, but luckily Kalani is quite a horsepower track. And because I know the track really well, I preempt it. So I start getting boost up, but ultimately the car would be lazy at the track like P at the hairpin or even Swartkops with a thinner air. And if we ever go and visit there, we'll probably fit smaller turbos. Brakes on something like this is always an issue. We fitted the biggest Vari brakes. In fact, these brakes, I requested specifically for them because I noticed they had these very big calipers they use on the ex-Westbank V8s. And I said, can't you just give me a caliper like that with the biggest disc we can fit in an 18? And they made these 380 millimeter discs essentially out of my request for it. And I guess there was some pressure other places as well. But yeah, so it's the biggest brakes Vari make. It's still running relatively cheap BC shocks, which is also something that in the future we would love to upgrade. I've got my hopes and dreams on some electronic shocks. The shocks are very run-of-the-mill. It isn't even the top-of-the-range BC shocks. Again, it's the shocks that came with the car. The low control arms and suspension arms, a lot of help from my friend Marco at Progress Precision Engineering. They've made the low control arms. They've made all the roll center repair kits, the diff bushes, everything that we've made solid, the trailing arm bushes, the gear levers, all that sort of stuff. I've always had great assistance from my friend Marco. James has done the bodywork, obviously the big wide body kit. You know, it's got quite a presence to it. the wing and all that stuff came at the same time. The car doesn't have a flat floor on it, as the exhaust pipe blows out underneath the car, and the car doesn't really have diff coolers and gearbox coolers. And the car is ultimately built for sprint events. So there's always a bit of compassion with something like this. It's not a car that you can drive for 10 laps absolutely flat out. Yes, it's absolutely magical over 2 laps, putting a sort of a qualifying time. We are working towards the sort of later stages of racing, getting the times up, but ultimately the car, I always say it's like throwing some people light the candle on one side, some people light the candle on either end. We just throw the whole candle in the fire when we're trying to do a qualifying lap, the 9s we're trying to do. Yeah, it's running a Motec dash, which is a fantastic help with that on the electronic side, getting us more ports, because obviously it talks to the computer via Canvas. It's got running 2 fuel pumps, well, it's actually running 4 fuel pumps, 2 lift pumps, 2 high pressure pumps. It's got a PDM that switches the fuel pumps on and off as need be. So yeah, there's all sorts of small pieces of technologies. The glass fiber doors was also made locally in Cape Town. It's obviously a long-term love affair. The one thing I'm most proud about the car is that we've built it in Cape Town. We've built it essentially, as a backyard build, if you know what I mean. Like, there's no companies involved, and the car does, the times it does, which sort of could beat the average GT3 car, which is incredible to us. And it still really is a E36 3-8. Like, I mean, the engine sits in the right spot. The gearbox bolts to the engine. There's no adapter plates. I always feel like if somebody walked underneath the car, they would recognize it as a BMW, where sometimes people build very fancy space frames and stuff, all over the show, and they like to, for World Time Attack and that sort of stuff. You often see that sort of thing, and they'll call it a BM or whatever, but it's no longer a BM, it's a space frame. So, this really is still a car. We've done some work to the chassis, but it's minor stuff. The biggest single thing was, I'm quite a tall guy, and as anybody that knows these BMs, you sit over quite skew on the steering wheel side, so we moved the seat back over to the middle and really, really low down. So when I sit there, it looks like a normal sized person sitting in it. So yeah, that's the kind of work we've done to the chassis, and then a normal sort of chassis braces and stuff, so the subframe doesn't break out. So ultimately, it's just a car that's really been put together correctly, and over lots of years of trial and error, it has evolved. And as stuff break, the motto has always been, how do we improve on it? Not just put the same thing back, but let's put bigger shafts or a bigger diff or a bigger gearbox or more clutch plates. How do we take the engine to the next level? We've made the exhaust branches and all that stuff in-house, which we're very proud of. It's obviously a very time-consuming doing branches correctly, not just bolting it on with a turbo, but actually getting the equal length you need, and with the wastegate, everything nice flowing. So yeah, that's all the sort of stuff we're very proud of. And obviously, we're trying to get the car done because there's nationals coming, and we've actually applied to enter. They don't have provision in the rules for our car, and for the last 2 years, every time we tried to enter, they said, no, you cannot enter. And we've wrote them a nice letter, really asking nicely to be accepted as an entrant, and obviously that we believe our car's up to the standards they were looking for. Obviously, it would be a bit of a David versus Goliath sort of attack, because the GT3 cars are really built to maintain their speed, and obviously the gearboxes sit in the back, and they got big engines and massive brakes, and we bringing our locally built BMW come to life and try and fight them. So yeah, that's where we're at. Our current issues on the car is obviously getting it done. We've got this beautiful billet intake manifold system imported. Okay, so this is our Christmas present that's come a bit late. This is supposed to be a billet intake manifold for my blue car, and I mean, I've ran everything from a plastic intake manifold to sort of expensive but still cheap Chinatown thing. And yeah, we've imported this billet one now, so I'm really excited to see what it looks like, and hopefully we'll never ever again have to repair an intake manifold. So yeah, let's see what it looks like. We're going to have to turn the boost up, it's heavy. So yeah, there it is. Everything wrong. That's a nice sprayer, and it's a heat isolator.
This is the accessory bag for it. So there's all the fittings, the clamps for the rail, the mounting points, some O-rings.
More fuel rails.
That's kind of where that's going to be.
Yeah.
That is.
And once we fitted to the car, we were really disappointed that it wasn't just a straight bolt-on. One of the things that we're going to have to do work on is normally the oil filter housing sits in this area, and now there's not enough space for it. So we're going to cut the standard oil filter housing apart, blank off where the filter used to sit, and then run an oil filter remote. And yeah, as you can see, that's just one of the issues. We still need to fit the bodywork. We have fans we fit here to blow air through the front brakes. Also, again, to get the car to last, 10 laps at the Extreme Festival if they ever accept our entries. So yeah, still a lot of work to do, and that's where we're at the moment.